if you guys want to hear more amazing volleyball content, go check out Volley Time's YouTube channel. Look at this dude's arms. I would watch his videos just to see how he's doing it with his arms. They're so big and voluptuous. If you love volleyball, you love Volley Times, go check it out on YouTube.
You're free. What's up, volleyball fans? My name is Piotr Siekierski, and this is podcast Volley Time. Our today's guest is very special because he is the first Yank in our podcast. Middle blocker of Indykpol AZS Olsztyn, proud member of national team of United States, Mr. Taylor Averill. How we doing?
Doing fantastic. Did you call me a Yank?
Yank, yeah.
That is the best thing anyone's called me since I've been out here.
Really?
That's so amazing. Yeah, no one ever calls Americans, I feel like, Yankees, Yank.
Why?
This made me really happy. So what a great start to the podcast.
Great to hear that. So Mr. Taylor Averill is with us. So Taylor, tell me please, how we doing? How do you feel? Is everything okay with your knee, with your health?
Yeah, right now, it's how do I describe this? Everything is good, There's something called slightly getting older, and as we get older, taking care of our body becomes a premium, So I'm in the stage where, a year ago, I dealt with some plantar fasciitis, and to be honest, it's still a problem sometimes, And it's really strange. It's a strange injury to navigate because, it doesn't go away in just a day, or
right.
It's a difficult one to navigate because there's no really good way to rest. And so that's the journey I'm on, is figuring out how to get my feet just really healthy. But honestly, it's a bit exhausting, I've had the problem on and off for about a year, and we're still working through it.
Okay, so will you be available for the next games?
Yeah, I hope so, for sure. Look, I think the priority for me is to get healthy, to come up with a plan of what we have to do to slowly take the steps, and just listen to my body. What I've realized from the past is, if you have an injury, go get it. If you need an MRI, if you need to get it looked at, go get it looked at and understand what the problem is, and make a plan and stick to the plan. We see so many athletes who have pain in the shoulder, who have pain in the knee, and they just want to keep playing because they're playing good, or because they don't want to lose the starting spot. Whatever the reason, they play through the pain. It only gets worse. They don't rest and recover. And then they have a problem, a really, really big problem. And this is what happened to me when I was in Chaumont. And when I played in France 3 years ago, in fact, the year after, I was supposed to come here in Olsztyn, and I had to get a small knee surgery. And that's why now it's so important for me, because I had pain early in the season, but I was playing unbelievably amazing, the best volleyball I had been playing. And so I did what most athletes shouldn't do. And I played through the pain. I took a lot of drugs like ibuprofen, diclofenac, on the day of the match, so I couldn't feel pain, and had amazing game. And then during the week was just miserable with knee pain, practicing at like 50-60%, pop some pills, play again the next game. And I played with this pain for 6 months. I asked for an MRI. They said, it's tendonitis, you don't need it. And I kept playing with the pain, and because of that, I had to get a knee surgery and couldn't come to Poland. And so since that moment, now I have the philosophy of, if you have pain and it feels like a big problem, it's not that somebody hit me on the shoulder and I need to go to the doctors.
Of course.
But if you have a pain that you feel is different or strange, or that you're just not sure and it's not getting better, go get it looked at, because ultimately your health is the most important thing. So.
Okay, yeah, glad to hear that. So that you're doing well. You came to Polish league as the best middle blocker in the French leagues, but to today you need to compete with the best of the world. So is that for you jump a bit on the higher level to and to compete with the best middle blockers in the world? So how do you find yourself among these players?
Yeah, well, first let me say, you know, I came right out of college and played in Italy with the best players in the world, and I didn't know who anyone was. I mean, no idea. I'm not like the volley dork, you know. How can I say this? I'm not someone who really knew anything about international volleyball.
Okay.
And I was the third best middle blocker in the entire league my first year in Italy. And a lot of that was because of ignorance. I didn't know who people were, so I had no pressure. Nobody cared about me. Nobody knew me.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is a bit more pressure when you start to make a name for yourself and you can really prove your skills. And look, for me to come here and play against the Polish robots, the Polish giants, like, this is why I play. I play to improve. I play to get better, and I play to prove myself against the best in the world. And so for me, the opportunity is amazing. I worked really hard to get here, and I plan to continue to show the best that I can where I am right now.
Right. So you have played already a few games in Polish league, and have you already adapted to the new environment?
What do you mean exactly?
Environment, I mean the Polish league. About the team, we'll speak a bit later. So I mean, did you already adapt? Have you already adapted to the league? So how do you think is the?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I'll try to answer your question. I think the league it's tough. Everyone is good. Anyone can really beat anyone, and you know, I think more so we're adapting as a team, you know, and trying to better, because I think we really in Olsztyn have the pieces to be a great team. We're doing very well, I think, so far. And a part of that isn't so much about the opponent, and it's about us as a team. Okay. And finding connection with the setter, making sure our trainings are an environment that pushes us to be the best versions of ourselves and team possible. I'm not someone who looks at playing Zawsze and looks at playing Nisa as two different games. Of course, they're two different games, but it's how you prepare. And I think the preparation needs to be the same, whether you're playing in the first division in, I don't know, Austria, or you're playing in the Plus Liga.
Yeah. So. Okay, understand. So, was there something what has surprised you in Olsztyn?
Something that surprised me. It's already snowing. I didn't think it would be snowing this early. I'll be honest.
Really? But you come from Portland, Oregon, so you get snow there.
No. This is the biggest misconception. I was born in Portland, Oregon, but I only lived there for 1 year of my life. Yeah. I lived my entire life in California, so.
So it means that the Wikipedia has lied to me. Okay.
Wikipedia has maybe they haven't lied to you, because I was born in Portland, but I grew up in a place called San Jose, which is about 40 minutes south of San Francisco.
Okay, so okay, so
let me tell you something. Never saw snow in San Jose.
Oh, really? Okay, so
never.
But you could get used to it, because you already played in Italy and in France, so there is a snow in France.
There is, but I mean I played in the Cannes.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
So wasn't any snow there. It's not the point. To me, I'm someone who loves the sun. I went to school in Hawaii. I grew up in California. The sun, my environment, a warm environment, is something I love. So being in a cold place is new to me. So yeah, it's a fun experience to get to live in the snow for the rest of the year. And yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But you won't be sad because of that.
I'll be honest. I'm pretty sad. I'm pretty sad that there's not sunny days out here. There's no doubt. I mean, man, I think this goes for everyone. Everyone's happier in the summer. It's the first thing I notice in every country I come to. Everyone is happy to be outside in shorts, having a coffee or having a beer. The attitude is not the same in the middle of winter, you know. So of course I'm a happy guy. I like that environment, but yeah, I'm also excited to get to try something different.
And you're the professional player, so you need to handle it.
Well, you don't have a choice. So to your point, yes, you do need to handle it. And I think a big key there is having strategies for how to handle it. Because, you know, I've talked about this before, where it's, you know, at least as an American player, and I'll say I'm very spoiled. I'm very lucky to have grown up in California, where cold weather isn't a part of our environment. Get to go to school in Hawaii, where it's like the most beautiful island in the world. You know, I understand this, and it's a new challenge for me. Yeah. You know, for you, it's like, you're like, come on, bitch, it's cold weather. You deal with it, you know? But for me, it's like, man, it's different. I'm away from my girlfriend. I'm away from my family. I'm away from all my friends. Yeah. They're 9 hours away. Yeah. And, okay, yeah, it's not, I chose this life, you know? Nobody's making me do this. Right. But I do think it's a unique difference that I think American players especially have to deal with coming overseas to play in a foreign country, away from everything and everyone they love, in the pursuit of volleyball. So it's a beautiful thing, but it has its unique challenges, and having strategies to handle them is important for sure. Yeah,
it costs something, right? You mentioned your girlfriend, so was there a chance to bring her here to Olsztyn?
Yeah, she came for a few weeks in October, and she'll come maybe again in a few months.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's pretty sad.
No, it's life, you know. That's life. It's difficult, but she's got a great life in Los Angeles, and she's working a lot. So you know, I think the way that relationships work with this lifestyle is you both have to be pretty independent. And so I have that relationship, and I'm really happy to be in it. And yeah, again, this is life. Life gives you always unique set of challenges, and this is one of our challenges. And it's a challenge I'm willing to accept.
Mm-hmm. But would you have some advices for younger players? They got the same situation that the guy play abroad and the girlfriend stays in the United States, for example. How to handle these situations? How to manage it?
Yeah, I mean, I would say don't, probably. Like, don't do it. No, I'm just kidding. But what I mean by that is, it takes a really strong individual. It takes a really strong, independent person, both male and female. So I think if you're going to do it, it's really important to find a partner who can really handle the distance, but also has a life of their own. And because that's the common problem we see is, you know, maybe the guy is playing professional volleyball, and the girl is I don't know, maybe she doesn't have a job she loves, or she wants to come out and they stay out. And it's just, in my experience, it's really important for both individuals to be really confident in who they are, in the path they're going in life. And you have to really love someone, because honestly, if you don't really love them, it's not worth it. You're so young, go explore. But if you really love someone, you make the sacrifice, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that, because it's I think it's pretty important, because there are a lot of people, they I don't know, they live abroad, they left their loved ones in the country. So yeah, thanks for sharing. I appreciate. So you mentioned already your injury 2 years ago. So and because of this injury, you couldn't sign a contract with Olsztyn, but there was another chance to get here. Were you afraid that something could go wrong this time?
I think it's never something that's in my mind that, oh no, what if something goes wrong? I'm just not that type of person. Okay. I am more someone who I look at the positive. I look at the chance to be in the Plus Liga, the chance to prove myself in one of the best leagues in the world. That's the part I focus on. The reality of being a professional athlete is, again, it comes with challenges. And one of the challenges can be that you have an injury. And finding ways to deal with it and come up with a plan. Look, I'm someone who's really tactical. So my tactic was to come here, be the best teammate I can be the best player I can be, do the best I can for the club and myself, and do what I love doing. And so part of my reality is I love volleyball, but if I have an injury, I need to make sure I'm handling that injury so it doesn't become a bigger problem in the future. And I think that's where I stand on that.
Okay. Did you have any concerns about the Olsztyn, about playing in Polish league?
No. I mean, what's there to be concerned about? This is like
I don't know, winter snowing, I don't know.
No, I mean, look, dude, the weather is like, I don't know how to say, superficial. To me, it's like, it doesn't matter because for the most part, I'm in the apartment, working, hanging out with friends, and then I'm training for most of the time. So really, it doesn't matter. I could be in Antarctica, I could be in Hawaii. It's more or less the same environment, you know? And so for this, it's not such a problem. I think I'm someone who really tries to see the positive and beauty in most experiences, and so that's what we plan to do here in Poland.
Yeah, right. Can you share with us? Did you sign a contract for 1 year, or was it a long-term contract?
This is I signed a 1-year contract here.
1-year contract, okay. With the option with the option to extend it or not.
We'll see.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair enough. Okay, so how would you describe your team, Olsztyn?
You know, I think something that was actually a bit of a surprise to me is, man, first of all, the Polish people are just such amazing people. Like, really good sense of humor, really easy to get along with. Like, guys work really hard, and this to me is like such an amazing recipe for a good time. And we have on our team really maybe the first team in a long time that I'm on a team where everybody gets along. Everybody is hanging out outside of the training, and we go to dinner together. And man, this is something really unique. And again, to me, this is a recipe for success. And so this is a surprise because the truth about professional sports, the business of professional sports, is you have players from all over the world, and they want to be the best they can be. Let's be honest. Not everyone cares about the team doing so well. You want to do well so you can get a better contract for more money. That's the truth. It takes something special to care about the team environment. As you get older, as an older player, I understand that your success is only as great as your teammates. So if you can't create an environment where your team, you're also pushing each other to be the best version possible, it doesn't work if just one person is trying and no one cares, and you know. But so I think the cool thing is here in Olsztyn, we have a team that really gets along. We have a team that really works hard in the weight room, in the training room, in the gym. And so there's, as an athlete who came here halfway across the world, there's nothing more I can want than to be in a really professional environment.
Okay, so we can say that you have already, so the team has already built a relationship inside the crew, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, that's pretty cool, and I will totally agree that this is a very important thing to be the best guys in the league. Is it easier to make a choice to play in Polish league when you know that there are a lot of your countrymen in the league, like David Smith, like Micah Ma, or Eric?
Honestly, it doesn't affect my decision at all.
Oh, really?
I love those guys, and it's so great to get to play against players you play with. Yeah. It's always such a cool experience too, and this isn't just even for American players, but this is for teammates I've had from teams in Italy, from teams in France. It's always amazing to play against friends. Yeah. And this is something that I hold dearly. I love getting to see, for example, Alex Berger. I played with him my first year in Italy. And we played him against Radom in the preseason also. And like, it's just so good to see. He's got a wife, he's got kids, to see them grow. it's one of my favorite parts about this job is I get to build relationships with people all over the world. So no, it doesn't really affect where I want to go or which team I want to be on or what league. I want to be on the best league in the world, the best team I can be on. And then there's obviously a couple small details that are also important. But yeah.
Okay. There are many players from United States. They bring very positive energy to their team. So how do you think where it comes from? It is because your mentality is like that. You're kind of laid back, or how do you think? How is that?
Yeah. First of all, that's, I guess, something that gets brought up a handful. I really think it just depends on the individual.
Okay.
And I think we're lucky to have been born in a country where, I don't know, I think our choice, our freedoms are so big. And then I don't know, I don't mean to make America seem like the greatest country, but like to some degree, like we have a lot of freedom there, you know, and you realize that when you come to other countries, and a lot of that to me is creative freedom, our ability to think outside of the box. Okay. And in my opinion, I think it's what can separate a lot of players, and also maybe is why the feedback is that American players bring energy or bring something different, and we're different. In the same way that if a Polish player came to America to play, if we had a league, we would say also like, wow, you guys are such professional guys. Like, why are you so different? And the thing is, everyone from every culture brings something different. This is what I think is so important. And also a very unique challenge, right? Because not everyone thinks like me, for sure. And everyone has a different way of thinking, and this is more or less also the coach's job to find a way to create a group that functions together.
Yeah. What is the main goal of Olsztyn for this season?
I think the main goal for Olsztyn this season is the main goal for every club in the Plus Liga. To win. To win,
yeah. But
it's really simple. I mean, look, I know what you're trying to say. I think, do we have a specific goal? Like,
right here you are.
Yeah, I think, our goal is to be in the top four.
Okay. Well,
I think it's a goal that's reasonable. I think it's also a goal that provides a lot of challenge. I would say a secondary goal is let's at least make the playoffs. But that's for sure. Everyone wants to be in the playoffs. But I think our real goal should be to focus on treating every team the same, scouting the same, preparing the same, really taking everyone seriously. And I think the result is not a result of winning and losing. It's a result of your preparation. And I think the ability to focus on one team at a time and not get too big picture is really important.
Okay. Yes, it sounds very brave to achieve the
a lot of brave dudes out here.
Yeah, right. I saw on your Instagram the video from the gym. So I saw all the biceps there. So
that's right. Every day we're doing biceps in that gym, trying to catch up to you.
There are a lot of strength there. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, Taylor, I would like to ask a few questions about the volleyball in the United States, if you don't mind. What does volleyball look like in the United States? Because we know exactly that you didn't have a professional league like in Poland or Italy. So, how would you describe volleyball in your country?
Well, let's see. 6 players on the court, 1 ball.
Nice. Okay.
From organizations. This is what I'll tell you is like, and I'll just describe it from the men's side of things, because the women actually are trying to start a professional league, and they have a really big chance because the women's volleyball is, I think, the #1 growing sport in the United States right now.
Oh, really?
And women's volleyball is actually much bigger and more popular than men's volleyball in the U.S. And I really hope they start a league. It would be really cool to see women representing sports also on bigger television screens in the U.S. It would be amazing if they became a dominant league in the world. Who knows where it will be? But I really hope they're able to push and make something cool. On the men's side, in my opinion, the NCAA Division I is like our professional league. You know, we have the AVP, which is on the beach, and they're trying to make a push also. But in terms of indoor, we don't really have a presence right now. The NVA, the VLA, I think, but there's nothing really professional out there yet. So, you know, for example, my journey was to finish high school and go play on the best Division I team I can be on. And then the goal is, if you want to play professional, do well in college and try to get an agent and play professionally overseas. You know, it's just a bit different.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So this was my second question, actually. So imagine that I'm, let's say, 25 years old student, and I would like to play volleyball in a professional way, but I'm not good enough to get the international level. So is there a chance to get money from volleyball in the United States?
No.
You
Probably have a better chance selling volleyballs, honestly. No, I'm kidding. I think, again, there's the NVA. They're trying to do like a professional league in the US. In terms of how much money you make, I really doubt it's enough to sustain a really healthy living. But I'm not sure because I haven't played in it before.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say if you're 25, you said, yeah?
Yeah, it was just an example. Sure.
Yeah, sure. If you're 25 and you want to play professional volleyball, I think trying to make it into the professional men's league is the best option because it's all we have. And in my opinion, the goal should be to make it into that league, to get some good footage, maybe, try to get an agent, and try to make it into a European league. And honestly, there's a lot of different ways to make it to the top. You know, we see guys like Dustin, who started in Finland or started in really low-level countries and just stayed consistent and slowly worked up. And now his story is really amazing. So it's really possible. You know, and everyone's journey is really different. So my biggest thing is if you really love something, you find a way to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what the process looks like if you want to play abroad?
Well, basically what I just described, and that is you gotta get some film. If nobody knows who you are, how do they know you can even play volleyball? You got to have some film. Yeah. And you know, again, it's different. Like, I believe Dustin just like post it on YouTube or post it on Instagram or something, you know, like just videos of him playing. That's how it can start, you know. It can start with something really simple. It can start with reaching out to agencies. I'm sure there's plenty of agencies out there who are looking to sign athletes, and do some research on Google and find a way to get in contact with an agent, or reach out to a professional player like me or like someone else and say, hey, I want to play professional. Who can I contact? Who do you know? I think, and this is just for me, I'm willing to answer pretty much any question people have because I really care about the volleyball community and growing. And I think the cool part about our community, specifically with men's volleyball, because it's so small, is for the most part, people want to help. And at least that's my take, and that's what I think. And so I'm also here to help. And if people have questions or need a little bit of guidance, like I'm always willing to offer some help. So
thank you for that. So this is the reason why we have met, and I'm very grateful. Thank you, sir.
Cool. Yeah, no worries.
Taylor, was there a chance to play in your hometown or in Hawaii? Was there a chance to play there, or you wanted to play abroad?
To play professionally?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a professional league.
But there was a time point in your life that when you have decided to play abroad. Yeah. So if I want to do that, and I wanted to do that on the highest level, so I need to play abroad, or I wanted to play in Europe, for example. So what was that moment in your life?
That moment was about a week or two after I graduated college. Okay. You know, I think my last year in college, I had made really a name for myself as an athlete, as a volleyball player. and I knew that I wanted to play professionally. And I had a coach named Milan Zarkovic, a Serbian coach, who was able to set me up with an agent and get me on the path to playing professionally. And so for me, there wasn't a doubt in my mind that that is what I wanted to do. I had nothing. I didn't want to stay home. I didn't need to be in the U.S. I loved volleyball, and I wanted to play at the highest level that I could. I wanted to finish a story that I had worked on for, at that time, most of my life. And that's what I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in year 2022 there will be a world championship in Russia. So who will be the biggest, greatest opponent of the United States in World Championship 2022?
I mean, look what happened at the Olympics. You know, to me, you never know who your greatest opponent is. In my opinion, I didn't think France was going to win an Olympic gold medal, and they did. And in fact, I thought Poland was pretty unbeatable, and they lost. So really, this is to me like one of the best parts about volleyball is anyone can win. It's almost like the NBA. There's so many good teams, and really anyone can win a championship. And so, yeah, I mean, of course we want to win a gold, but
Sure.
you know, again, I think something we do really well, in my opinion, in the U.S. is staying really process oriented. So really focusing on what's the process it takes to win a gold medal. And if you can really stick to the process and take each moment by each moment and each day by each day, that's where real success comes from. And the hard part is believing in it, because the truth is, once, you know, you play in a pressure situation, or it's hard not to think about the end goal, or think about, I can't believe we're going to lose. I can't believe we're not going to make it to the playoffs in the Olympics. And you know, you have to do your best in those moments to focus on the time, and the time is now. And I think it's something that takes a lot of maturity. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it's much more rewarding when you can.
Unfortunately, you weren't part of Olympic team in Tokyo. So was that a surprise for you, or you knew it already earlier that you won't get a Tokyo ticket?
Yeah, it's a bit of a sore subject for me, no doubt.
Okay, you don't need to answer if you don't like to.
No, I mean, the truth is, a part of it was this plantar fasciitis I had on my left foot was like so painful. And in fact, I had ruptured my right foot, like a small tear basically. And I missed the entire training camp before we left. I was out for 4 weeks, and then went straight into VNL with almost no training. And the situation wasn't set up for me to succeed, even though I felt like I had proven myself enough in the past.
Yeah.
And look, this is the truth. The truth is the coaches take who they think is ready right now. And I have no regrets in this way, you know. And it's not an easy thing to admit, because, yeah, I felt like I deserved to go to the Olympics.
Sure.
But so did the other 5 guys, you know. Like, so did the other 5 middle blockers who also work hard and also are really skilled and deserve to be there as well. The truth is, all 6 of us, all 5 of us who were at VNL deserve to go to the Olympics, but only 3 can go. So this is just life.
Yeah, this is very sad, because as we know, in the Olympic Games, the coach can take just 12 players.
Correct. And so for middle blockers, they only take 3.
Yeah.
And you got to do the best you can to prove that you should be one of the 3. And once the decision's made, you got to do the best you can to move on.
Sure. Taylor, I got a few more quick questions from our listeners and from the fans of volleyball. So they're really pretty quick. So if you don't mind, I will start. To which town would you compare Olsztyn?
I almost have nothing to compare it to. I'll say it's like, I don't know, Minnesota in the United States, because my girlfriend's from Minnesota and she said that the weather reminded her of Minnesota. So that's my best answer. Okay.
So please share with us your thoughts about how did your adventure with volleyball begin?
That's a long answer. We'll try to keep it as short as possible.
No, just go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I started when I was 15. So actually a bit later than most friends that I have who are high-level volleyball players. And I played soccer my whole life. And then had a time in my life where I grew, I don't know, 10 centimeters in like a day, felt like. Okay. And so I started losing some coordination. I had some growing pains and was like, okay, what's a good sport for tall, dorky white dudes? And that's where volleyball fit in. Yes, exactly. So volleyball it was, and I just really fell in love with it, and was really bad. Like maybe the worst. They called me the credit card because you couldn't put a credit card under my vertical jump. Was like the joke. And you know, I didn't care. I loved volleyball so much, and I played. When I tell you, I played everywhere. I mean, you can't imagine. I played against my roof every day. I was going to some local community center. I was going to local churches. I would play against people that were 13-year-old girls to 65-year-old men.
To homeless people.
Homeless people, anybody. I'm not kidding. I would play against anybody. I would meet friends and find a way to play on the beach together. Like I was always looking for ways to play, and I played every day. It's all I cared about. And having that attitude will make you good really quickly. And that's what happened to me is I got so much better so fast because I became obsessed with volleyball. And then, you know, that led to playing in college. And in fact, my college journey was I got kicked off the team by our national team coach my first 2 months of being in college at University of Irvine in California, and was kicked off for some drug related and I was the kid who was the party kid, but also loved volleyball. And at that time in my life, I was young and didn't have enough discipline to know how to be really an adult and how to manage the life of being a young adult and also being a professional. And then I went to Hawaii, and the same thing happened. I was let go from the team after my first year at Hawaii. And now being kicked off of 2 teams, I was finally faced with real adversity and had to decide, do I go play in Canada or do I quit volleyball? Because Hawaii doesn't want me back. Oh. And in this moment, I dedicated, really was one moment, and I said, you know what, from here on, we're going to be the most professional person we can be. I trained 6 hours a day. I got straight A's, like perfect grades for the rest of my college career. After 6 months, the coaches let me back on the team. I was a setter and an opposite at the time.
Okay, and, you mean in Hawaii or?
Yes, at Hawaii and at California Irvine. I was training as a setter and an opposite my career. Okay. And then I had a shoulder surgery, was kicked off the team at Hawaii. And then they let me back on 6 months later. And they said the punishment is that we need a middle blocker, so you have to play middle blocker. Really? And now look at me. It was the best punishment of my life. Now I'm on the national team. I'm playing in the best leagues in the world as a middle blocker. And the truth is, I don't know if I would have played in the best leagues in the world as a setter or an opposite. I don't know. And so it was like a gift in disguise. And but the truth is, in that moment, I decided to become the most professional person I could be. And fuck, it paid off. It really paid off. And I worked unbelievably hard at this. Is where strength and fitness became such a big part of my life, because I made huge growth in my jump, in my power, in my speed in 5 or 6 months. And when you first feel the results, you start eating better, sleeping good, training hard, and you start to feel the results of I'm losing some fat, I'm seeing some abs, I'm seeing some muscles. Like, you start to build momentum. And it's like anything in your life. Once the ball starts moving, you just start going, and the next and the next, and becomes I became addicted to being a professional. And in fact, it's changed my life so much. It's exactly why even now I start to offer one-on-one mentorship for some kids. I built a course that you can see at dustywatton.com that a middle blocker course. I'm really trying now to give back, because I feel so lucky to be in a position that I'm in right now.
Hey, that's very inspiring. It's a kind of inspiration, because you need to fall down a few times to raise up. What a story!
Absolutely.
It's a great story, and I appreciate that you share it with me, with the listeners.
Yeah, no problem.
Was there any mentor in your life who has helped you to bring you to the spot where you are already right now?
Yeah, I think for people listening, I would say there's always a mentor around you. It's just, are you able to listen? And I think, you know, for me, when I first started, I did have my coach in high school. Saw that I loved it. He liked my personality, and he really invested in me as a person. His name is Ryan Georges. He really invested in me as an athlete. And yeah, that's where it started. And ultimately, every coach I had was in some way a mentor, whether I liked the coach or didn't like the coach, whether I agreed with the coach or didn't agree with the coach. Both of those experiences really developed my personality as a volleyball player, my ability to adapt to good coaching, to bad coaching, and find what is my way, what is my truth. And a lot of that was from, you know, I'm someone who is naturally curious, who is always questioning things. And sometimes it gets me in trouble, and sometimes it ends up being my greatest adversary. So, yeah, I think if I had to put one person, I would say Milan Zarkovic. He's a coach at University of Hawaii. He is a Serbian guy. He is the greatest thing volleyball has ever seen. I love that guy really a lot. So he definitely shaped my specific volleyball philosophy and training for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had one more question about the specific position, because you're in the middle blocker. Did you ever think about that you want to play on the other position?
Yeah, in fact, I still think about it to this day.
Which one?
No, I wanted to be a setter. I really loved being a setter. I also love the opposite. I also would love to be an outside. Look, I'm someone who just loves volleyball. And the more ways I can be involved, setter gets to be involved in every play. Outsides get to pass or attack more or less in every play. Opposites get tons of swings. It's such a glorifying position. Like, man, volleyball is such a great sport. And yeah, middle play is half the time. I want to play the whole time. But yeah, so for me, I just love playing volleyball, man, and any position doesn't matter. I just love the game.
Okay, yeah, I see that you're in love with this game. But was there your first choice? The volleyball was your first was volleyball your first choice, or there was any other sports you wanted to?
Yeah, I played soccer my whole life. Soccer was my number one sport my whole life.
Soccer, really? Wow.
Yeah. I had two uncles who played professionally, and so they lived close to me, and we would train together. From an early age, I was like really sports guy. I loved soccer. I played year round. And that's the sport that I thought I'd be playing professionally. And played along the way. I played, you know, basketball and some other sports, but soccer was like my number one sport. And then, at one point I had like a rebellious phase when I was, I don't know, 12, 13, 14. I stopped playing all sports. I just started skateboarding and went through like an extreme sports phase and thought I would be a professional skater. And
it was Tony Hawk's time.
Exactly. And yeah, so.
Hey, that's really cool. Hey, did you already eat a Polish pierogi?
Did I eat Polish pierogi? I'm still searching for the best pierogi in Olsztyn, baby. I just had some yesterday. I'm always looking for the best pierogi.
Okay, so when you come to south of Poland, like Zawsze, I don't know, maybe Katowice, so I can recommend you a few restaurants if you want.
Yes, after the show, send me some restaurants. I'm looking.
I will send you the location. But yeah, what do you think about the Polish cuisine?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about traditional Polish food,
yeah,
it explains why Polish people are so big. Like big, like strong and thick, and like, you know, it's like potatoes and pierogi, and it's like really hearty foods.
Yeah.
I mean, America's like, we're famous for fast food. We're famous for gross food. But also in America, we're famous for tons of different cultures. So we have any food, like in Los Angeles, we have some of the best food because whatever you could think you'd want to eat
Yeah.
is somewhere in Los Angeles. And in fact, I've been quite surprised with Olsztyn. There's amazing restaurants here. Like, they just opened up a really good Thai restaurant. There's a really good Indian restaurant, Asian food restaurant, sushi, Rolki is here. Like,
Okay.
there's just and Italian food. Like, Olsztyn. I don't think I'll ever cook a meal again in Olsztyn. Why would I? There's so many good places to eat. I will say though, they need a breakfast burrito. I'm trying to find a restaurant who will open a breakfast burrito, because as a California boy, that's my favorite thing. So yeah, we'll get there one day.
Maybe Jan Firley will help you to find it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So do you know already some Polish words?
Yeah, I know the only word I need to know.
Kurwa.
No. Wyzwolenia.
Once again?
Wyzwolenia.
Miss Valenia?
Wyzwolenia. Are you from Poland then?
Wyzwolenia. Ah, okay.
Wyzwolenia.
Wyzwolenia.
Wyzwolenia, kurwa.
Wyzwolenia. Okay.
Yeah. And I know because I live on the street, Wyzwolenia.
Wyzwolenia. Okay. But you know what does that mean?
Of course, man. It means freedom. It means liberty.
Liberty. That's right. Hey, that's cool. Hey, dude, it was my last question.
All right.
Our today's guest was Mr. Taylor Averill, and it was such a nice conversation. So Taylor, get well. Hope I'm gonna find you somewhere in Olsztyn, and we're gonna meet each other.
Hey, can I say one thing? Just for people
Sure.
people listening, if you have any questions you didn't get answered, please feel free to write me on Instagram at @Averill13. I'm just really looking to help. Doesn't matter what country you're from, as long as you love volleyball and you got questions, I want to help. So feel free to reach out to me.
Mr. Taylor Averill was our guest. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thanks for having me, man.